Louisiana will move forward. The resilient spirit of our people will never cease to amaze me, but we still need help to truly and fully recover. I look forward to working with Congress as well as with this administration and the next to ensure that our great state fully recovers from the historic and unprecedented flooding that has turned too many lives upside down. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you, Gavin.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hello? Could I call you back, baby? I'm doing an interview. All right, bye-bye. I'll tell you just a quick story.
Coming in from down there that we got to worry about.
It's still coming up.
It's coming in.
You gotta see the buyer by my house, dude.
How do you make it a road? How do you even know where to drive?
This house, I want to say it's been flooded 5 times or 6 times. But my dad built this house. I've seen my dad struggle to keep this house, you know, when I was younger. I've seen all the work he put into this house, so I just wanted it rebuilt.
You know how many times my house flooded? 3 times. You go to my house right now, I'm what you call 14 feet in the air. Do a bitch every time I go up and down them steps, but it's life, I gotta do it, you know what I mean?
We flooded in the house across the street, I think 3 times before we moved this side. Then we flooded in this house, and then we finally raised the house, and it flooded after that 1 more time.
I tell you what, flood insurance, because my house is on the ground, it's almost $8,000 a year. Once it gets lifted, I think it goes down to like 200 or something. It like drops completely. Well, you see all the water, it's coming up from the bayou. The bayou's raising up right now. This is a flood line. That's where the water was. At one time, we was just scrubbing the house. I want to say it was somewhere around here. I think it got that high up in the house. I want to say it was somewhere around there. If some kind of way you get a side shot, man, to see the water's higher than the ground. It comes up to about right here, a little bit low, you know, about right here. It doesn't top off and go over. I've never seen it get that high before, but it gets up to about right there. And I'm praying that no hurricanes come until we get this house lifted, because we're fixing it up while it's on the ground, so that all this work could be for nothing.
Over the years, every time it's flooded, I've noticed that it gets a little bit higher every time. The house was built in 80, 81, 82, and it was built 10 feet off the ground, which was the best decision that could have ever been made, because since then it's flooded 4 or 5, maybe 6 times. Maybe I'm a little negative, and I'm going to continue to rebuild for as long as I can, but if we keep flooding the way we are, one of these times we're going to go under and we're not going to come back out.
What happened
What
to
happened
the grave?
Yeah.
They popped out the ground.
So you
And-
just saw a coffin floating down the
Oh yeah, they quite a few that's like this. They drift away. In other words, the top comes off because the coffin is sealed tight, and they actually drift away. They'll go in a bayou, but they got serial numbers on it, and the guy that do all the burial around here, he comes back and he, you know, put them all back in the same grave that they're supposed to be in.
My dad was here for 30 years before me, over 30 years. He dealt with one flooding event, which was Hurricane Juan, which I helped, and that kind of made me want to run for mayor one day. We have 10,000 people, and any little problem they have, I try to solve. We did a little study, and it showed that the past 10 years they spent over $128 million here. Just FEMA did, rebuilding houses.
I don't know how many times we're going to continue the stupidity of spending billions of dollars after a storm instead of millions before, making our communities more resilient.
We hear it's all good, and then when it happens, it ain't so good. And these are real people's lives. Should not be a partisan issue. It's not a partisan issue. But when you have such catastrophic failure in trying to protect the people who need the help the most, come on.
If you sit and wait for us to flood again, it's going to cost 3 times as much or more than giving us a levee system.
You know, you got these, how you want to call it, politicians, dollar rule. You know what I mean, guys? You live up there. You don't have this life. We out here all day long. You know, I tell people, this is how I made my living. Always off the water, the swamp. I ain't got these wrinkles by being in the desk, figuring it on the computer. You born and raised here. I see it day in and day out how it changes. They go by the data. You know what I mean? And sometimes your data don't get it.
Your question is, what I say to someone who says global warming doesn't exist? I would tell them to take an Alaskan cruise and look at the glaciers. And the glaciers are retreating, and that water's got to go somewhere.
We didn't create this problem. Man created this problem.
That's what we losing. See, if they don't rock this, I live not even a half a mile from here. What's gonna happen another 20 years from now? I'll be dead and go, I'm 60. But that's all deteriorating.
I love this place. Both sides, this whole area right here is all family of mine. My dog runs away, well, my family's gonna come and bring my dog back. You know, just little things like that.
I was born in this house. My wife and I were married 1955, stayed here until 1969. We leave if the water rises, but we are gonna come back.
Moving is a thought that crosses my mind a lot. But being here all my life, and I mean, you see what's going on behind me. I mean, this is just so peaceful and relaxing that I don't think I'll ever leave. At this point, we've accepted it as life, and it's just what we're willing to do to stay here. It's what we have to do if we're gonna stay here. We're gonna pick up and rebuild every time.
No, nobody wants to leave here, and it's just too beautiful, just too much of a nice place to live, and too many people got blood, sweat, and tears in this place.
It seems like we're building up, but we're doing pretty good. We've been here so long. Pretty much everybody here was born and raised here. We all respect our ancestors, you know, so it's just a lot of that, so I feel like we just have to move back.
Through hard work and fighting as much as you possibly can, I think it's bright, you know, but it's bright, but you know, I gotta stay healthy and I gotta keep fighting because I see light at the end of the tunnel.